At the start of the episode, the newly sworn-in President Charles Halsey is seen making his way to his inauguration ball. Suddenly, the driver takes a diversion and drives the president to a deserted locality. He is greeted by a team led by Tarkman, the national security advisor for the last president, Mr. Burns. Tarkman informs him that NORAD spotted a flying object headed toward Earth from the outer solar system, and they have been unable to identify the nature of the incoming body. Given the momentum of the incoming object, Tarkman leads the president and the first lady into an underground nuclear bunker because the impact might wipe away human civilization. Since the president's new cabinet hasn't been sworn in yet, the only people available are Tarkman, Burns' science advisor Dr. Janet, military space program chief General Covington, and the transition team. Inside the bunker, Dr. Janet informs the president that the incoming object is approaching Earth faster than a comet. She assumes the destruction to be large-scale and predicts future dust clouds blocking the sun for years to come, destroying any hope for the survival of humans. Just then, General Covington arrives and suggests that the president mobilizes the military so they can provide some security to those who survive the impact. The president orders Tarkman to release the news of the impact to common people as a courtesy, but is interrupted by a fax from the Russian president. Dr. Janet analyzes it and expresses that the object might just miss the Earth and hit the moon instead. They all watch in disbelief as the object hits the far side of the moon and causes a huge explosion. Just as they celebrate, General Covington receives news that the object came from a spacecraft not far behind. He suggests they get ready for military defense since the lunar explosion was a show of the aliens' force to prepare the Earth for invasion. However, First Lady Elizabeth Halsey and Dr. Janet believe the aliens are not hostile since they did not hit the Earth. Meanwhile, the media starts speculating over the president's absence from his own inauguration, followed by the lunar explosion, which prompts the president to make a public address. However, General Covington advises him against it, since they cannot compromise the president's safety and location, since the aliens are light years ahead of them in terms of technology. Just then, they receive intel that a fleet of 6 spaceships is headed toward the Earth. General Covington informs the president about a top-secret anti-satellite weapon hidden on one of the shuttles, leaving the president shocked since this kind of weapon is considered illegal by international authorities. The general admits it is illegal, but it was created in case the planet needed defense against extraterrestrial advancements. The president asks the general to hold the nuclear shuttle until they are clear about the aliens' intentions, as he assumes that they are not hostile. Shortly after, they receive an urgent message from NORAD, informing them of a laser beam directed from the fleet at the Earth's primary communication satellite, which could destroy it. Just then, they lose the connection, showing that the satellite has been disabled. The president allows General Covington to install the nuclear weapon just in case. Right then, they receive word that the Russian military has placed their strategic rocket forces on the highest alert, showing that they are aware of the approaching armada, as the Russian nuclear deterrents are in position to protect Russian airspace. NORAD informs the president that another satellite is under attack by the same energy pulse, but Dr. Janet connects them to Dr. Norris in NASA, who explains that the aliens are trying to establish communication with the humans via light through the laser beam. The first beam was too powerful, which unexpectedly overloaded the satellite, but now they have lessened the frequency. He then plays the audio message which surprises everyone at the bunker as they firsthand see a humanoid alien saying something, but they cannot interpret its language. While Elizabeth believes that the aliens have peaceful intentions, the Russian president sends a message asking for America's alliance if the need arises to fight the aliens back. Much to General Covington's disappointment, the president decides to release the aliens' video message to the press since he thinks the aliens meant to talk to the entire human race. Since the media is already criticizing the new Halsey administration, who used the campaign slogan, "Let me be your friend," but is nowhere to be seen now, the president decides to respond to the aliens' message. Just before he goes live, Dr. Janet informs him that her colleagues at NASA believe that the object that hit the moon was not a weapon, but a quantum singularity, a kind of black hole that could generate an inexhaustible source of energy for the aliens to attack Earth. Since they haven't, it shows that they never meant to attack the humans. The president is still unsure what the aliens want from them and worries about the responsibility on his shoulders since they haven't been able to interpret the aliens' message. Anyway, Elizabeth calms him, after which he addresses the aliens, welcomes them to Earth on behalf of the Americans, and lets them know that he does not speak for the other nations. He also asks them to stay in orbit until a diplomatic relationship is established, since they have not yet been able to decipher the aliens' message and would like to wait till a diplomatic summit can be arranged between the humans and the aliens. Shortly after, they receive another message message from the aliens, but they are nowhere near interpreting the first message yet. Just then, one of the 6 spacecraft heads toward the Earth, which alarms the president. At General Covington's behest, the president allows to activate DEFCON to level 2, and just then, the Russians send in a message, declaring that they will not think twice if the Americans stand in the way of protecting Russian soil against alien invasion. When the president asks General Covington the strategy a hostile enemy would deploy in such a case, he replies that they would first send a scout to the Earth to test the defense, followed by a full-blown attack. The incoming ship reaches the Pacific Ocean and strikes the water near Hawaii at Mach 5. Supporting the prospect of an invasion, the general argues that this is exactly what an invasion looks like in the beginning. Dr. Janet and Elizabeth try to talk the president out of it by stating that maybe the aliens did not understand the message or only understood the welcome to Earth bit. General Covington is convinced that the aliens want control over the Earth's water, but Dr. Janet reminds him that the aliens live in a water-based environment. Seeing that the Chinese, the French, and the Russian authorities are joining hands to fight against the aliens, panic gets the better of the president, and he agrees to General Covington's attack strategy using the space shuttle's nuclear device. Elizabeth tries to talk him out of it, but he ignores her and authorizes the launch of the nuclear weapon on the shuttle on General Covington's assertion. Simultaneously, the Russians follow suit and launch 2 nuclear missiles from their submarines at the alien fleet. Seeing this, the aliens instantly destroy the shuttle and the submarines with their laser beams before they can inflict the slightest damage to the alien ships. In retaliation, they launch 2 weapons, one headed to Moscow and the other to Washington, D.C. This is where the staff at the bunker realizes that the aliens think that these are the capitals of the world, and they have sent 2 powerful bombs to protect their fleet and stop the humans from blowing up their own planet with the secret nuclear weapon. As the president realizes they stand no chance against the bomb headed their way, he orders General Covington to stand down with his military advice and takes solace in the fact that the rest of the world will survive. Just then, Dr. Janet receives a fax from the cryptanalysts, who finally manage to decode the aliens' message. She tearfully exclaims that the message had been in English all along when they removed the distortion of a liquid environment, and it said, "Let us be your friends," much like Halsey's original slogan during his presidential campaign. This is where the president realizes that he messed up big time and regrets his decision. In the last scene, a bright flash occurs, implying that bombs hit the 2 cities. And with that, the movie ends. Thank you for watching Outer Limits Trial by Fire. Subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.